All right, ladies and gents, welcome back. Welcome back. Joseph James here, School of Trades. About that time of day again. Time for your recap. Let's do our lunchtime update, and let's see what we're waiting for here going into the afternoon session here. Now, before we get into charts this morning, I do want to remind you guys here, if you haven't joined our free trial yet, you're missing out on it. Now, there's two locations where you can get a full recap of every trade that we took today. If you're an advanced member, of course, you guys have a full recording and a full recap of everything we did today. So advanced members, you guys will log into your advanced course, and there's a recap going up here shortly. Our free trial members, though, you guys also get a copy of that recap, and that's posted in your trial section as well. If you're also a member of the free trial, you get invited to a private trading session with me Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time once we wrap up with our members and students in the trade room. So there's a lot of perks there involved with that free trial, and of course, your advanced membership comes with lifetime trade room access. Before we go forward here, I do want to remind you guys, we are going to Vegas Memorial Day weekend. We have a live trading event in Las Vegas scheduled for Memorial Day weekend. Tickets are selling quickly right now. We just inked our second sponsor of the event. Big thanks to Global Futures for being our corporate sponsor here. We were able to work with them last week, so great stuff there. We keep growing every time we do this, and of course, I want to remind you guys to be a part of this Memorial Day weekend, throwing a little bit of a party in Vegas, doing some live trading. We'll have some trading computers set up, get a nice trading competition we're going to be doing. Definitely an exciting event. As if you needed any more excuses to go to Vegas, here's another one for you. Memorial Day weekend, come out and join us. Alrighty, so we talked about the important housekeeping issues. Let's take a look now, starting with the E-minis, what we're dealing with going into lunch right now. Really important, we see here that coming out the gate this morning, we had a fantastic opportunity here to get long. This was a buying opportunity today on Russell. You can see here we're going to enter right into our trigger zone, a quick test of the trigger zone. I'm looking at this Russell now moving higher. Remember, rule number one for us in our live trade room is find direction. We find the direction as price moves higher. This becomes my A. This becomes my B. My C now goes into the trigger zone, and my D now becomes the profit target. Now, this is a great example of what we always talk about in training, and that is you don't want to take every single signal, say that 10 times fast, right? You'll see this entry trigger indicator is really easy to use. Find the direction. The direction is marked up in the color of what we call the cloud. You can see this is green, right? Green color means we're looking to buy. Here on this Russell, you can see we move higher. As we move higher, we make our first swing high. This pulls back into a Fibonacci-based, what we call trigger zone, and then you'll see here the indicator fires off. That's the signal we want here, folks. So that's the signal we take. Pull back, right? There's your first winning trade long here this morning, just after 9:30. And again, that is the ABCD. We call this the symmetry pattern, the symmetry setup. Keep in mind, guys, you will be taught 10 different trade setups as a member. We are not a one-trick pony. And you can see here we've got 10 different trade setups. I'm going to teach you all 10 of them. I'll also teach you everything I know over the past 12 years of my life. Been watching these charts every day for 12 years now, so something tells me I can teach you a thing or two. This was the symmetry pattern. This is by far one of our easiest, and I think to be one of the most profitable setups that we trade with. And if you're wondering right now, is that another one setting up? Absolutely it is. Now we have another trade setting up here right now. Again, now I'll go from, you can see we just made a new higher high, so I got to go to the new swing high here. That brings my trigger zone up just a little bit, and so now all we're waiting on now is a test of that trigger zone, and we'll head right back down into it. So we know we're looking to pull back into that trigger zone. Once it starts to go higher, we know we're on the buy side, and we'll be buying here. Stop loss goes below the swing, right, below that trigger zone. Profit target goes up using that ABCD, right? We talked about that already. So if we're going to take a profit target on this, profit target, assume we don't make a new higher high, this profit target now will be up around the 945, right? So now our target on the Russell heads up to, right, there's your target. And again, this is nothing new. We did the same thing for the long earlier on it. It's A to B, C to D. One target will go at the swing high. One target will go at the symmetry resistance. You can move your stop to the swing high once you exceed it, and then let it run up to that symmetry resistance. Symmetry, of course, being one of my favorite patterns that I'll teach you guys here as a member. There's your Russell. So Russell, you got one winner in your belt this morning. And of course, you're waiting here now for your second trade on the Russell. We're not done with the E-minis yet, though. In our live trade room, we'll trade anything that moves. The Nasdaq was a really good example of a market that just never slowed down to let us get on, right? Almost like a runaway, running after the bus, right? And just it never slowed down enough to get us into the trade here. This is going to happen sometimes, guys, right? Sometimes this is going to happen. Now, what I can do on a situation like we're seeing on the Nasdaq, you can see what I mean by that is you'll notice we never pulled back far enough, right? We just kept on keeping on to the upside. This is going to happen to the best of us. This is going to happen to Crude, just like it will for the Nasdaq. What I'm looking for now is I'm looking for a pullback now. We got to get this a little bit lower here, and you can see we should get a chance here to get this thing, right, to give us a good entry. Now, again, I could take this entry signal long right now, but it's going to be my best interest to wait for at least one test of that trigger zone, then wait for the signal. And again, we're going to go A, B, C, and D. So there's your Nasdaq. We are waiting for a slightly deeper pullback here right now. I am looking for an entry here in the 28.66 area as we go higher. And if we do get into this trade here long, our target on this now roughly at 28.75. I'm sorry, 28.77. So we got target at 28.77 on the Russell as we go higher. Moving on, let's go to the S&P now. S&P also very similar scenario here this morning to the Nasdaq. They just didn't really give us much to get into here. Russell gave us a perfect entry. We weren't able to get, you can see this first one here on the S&P, just barely missed our trigger zone. And you can see just a great example of the entry trigger that follows thereafter. I get this question all the time. Are you able to shadow trade in our live trade room? And the answer is absolutely yes. And it's because you're going to know exactly where you're looking for a signal. First of all, you're going to know exactly what direction you're looking for a signal in. And then second, you'll know exactly where you're looking for a signal because you're going to be looking for it in that trigger zone, right? That green box that showed up there right below where the signal fired off. So not only will you know exactly where you're looking for a signal, but guys, it's very easy now for you to shadow trade because you're going to get the entry signal just like I got. You'll hear me say the bulls are in charge. We're looking to buy. You'll hear me say we have the trigger zone, in this case, 1579 on the ES. That's what we're waiting for. And then you'll anticipate it with me getting that entry signal to get long. You can see here, this one just barely missed our entry on it. Symmetry target on it, of course, up at the previous high of day. So there's your target off on the S&P. Just missed that one by a hair this morning. And again, I have members every day of the week taking these trades that are just about close enough to that trigger zone. But for a brand new student of mine, I'm always going to be disciplined to make sure that you're always taking those perfect trades. And you can see here, as of right now, we got to get a pullback here if we're going to get anything going here else. You'll notice there's the next entry here now on the S&P. So wait for that pullback, get into that trigger zone, and then we're going higher here. Target on the S&P as we go higher. We're looking at 1594 for that target here going higher in the short term. Again, be patient out there, members, to get those trades inside that trigger zone. You're always going to get the best opportunities there. And then last but not least with the E-minis, here's the YM. Here's a great example on the YM of another runaway market here after about 10 o'clock this morning. But another example, though, you can see A, B, C, D. One of the biggest reasons why we can trade this method on any market you want. You'll notice there's your trigger zone now. Comes in. Here's a great example, though, of a little bit of an oddball pattern. You'll notice there's actually no entry signal that fires off. But this is that classic example of whenever we see an A, B, C, and then D, of course, we know that this is going to be your entry area around that trigger zone. So I'm looking at that 14,670 area to enter long on the YM. And again, to find your profit target, you know where we're going with that now. I'll measure A to B. I'll copy and paste there, put it over, right? So there was our profit target there on the YM. We're looking to take nickels and dimes out of this market because we know if we take nickels and dimes, we know they're going to add up to dollar bills. That covers the E-minis. Let's keep going. Some of my favorite markets here, such as the DAX. DAX market. You can see we've got chopped up here this morning, right? Nice sloppy sideways, and then we break out. Once we break to a new higher high, we do all this training in our trade room. Once we break to new higher highs, that's when we know we've got those buyers back in charge. You'll notice the red color changes to green. We now know we're buying pullbacks now. Again, using my trigger zone tool, there's test number 1, entry trigger 1. We keep going, new higher high. Test of it 2, there's entry trigger 2. As you can see, there were multiple opportunities here on the FDAX to get into these trades. Again, test of the entry, test of the trigger zone, entry trigger 3. Another winning trigger on the DAX, and they just keep on going. This one didn't pull all the way back. You can see that one didn't give us an entry. And so initially the first 1, 2, 3 signals you got were all trigger zone entries. Again, symmetry targets worked out perfectly. And right now on the DAX, you will not be trading DAX this afternoon, but you'll notice we did not pull back into our final trigger zone. So no afternoon trading here on the DAX. And again, DAX market's going to be out of Europe, so you won't be trading that in the afternoon. Really, you won't be looking at it much after 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Moving forward, how about gold? Here were a few of the gold trades we took today, some of the different opportunities we saw in gold today. After we opened up our live trade room at 8 a.m. Eastern time this morning, we immediately saw a big change in direction. You'll notice we changed from bullish down to bearish. This is a big, big clue for us because we know that once we change directional trends, now we have the highest percentage trading opportunities. I find my previous swing high, down to swing low. This puts me into the sell zone, trigger zone, A to B, B to C, there's your D. And of course, you're going to get this A, B, C, there's your entry signal short. That's your trigger now to get into the trade short. One target here comes off at the B. Second target here comes off at the D. So again, you can see you got your first target filled relatively quickly here. Had to wait a little bit. Trailing stop loss. Stop loss is kept just above the C. And you can see no close above that trigger zone. So we're still in that trade short. And again, you're headed down to that symmetry target. We're going to take your profit target. Now, bring up the speed here now. We now look at where we are right now on gold. And you can see here now, fast forward, coming out of lunch session. We've only got about an hour left here on gold until it's going to get a little bit too sloppy out there for you. But you can see another example here on gold. Swing high, swing low, entry, trigger, fires off. Again, one target will be at the B. Second target now will be A to B, C to D, right? Second target now here, if you're trading gold, will be down at these lows. So as of right now, you've taken one profit target off on the short. You got one more to go here, guys, on gold as you go lower. Great example there. Now, if we didn't take the trade short, we've got another entry opportunity here, last swing high. There you go. You've got your entry signal right now. Looking to get short here on gold. And again, A, B, C, D now puts our gold target to the downside. Just about the same exact target here. So short sellers in control on gold right now. Target's going to be at 1464 here. You got 1464, right, for your target on the downside here. 1464 on gold. Couple more here to go. We got the black gold here. Get the black gold. Crude oil, as we call it. Crude oil, very good to us here today in the trade room. You can see here a lot of these symmetrical patterns. As you can see here, first of all, we start out the gate. Our first symmetry pattern showed up. A to B, B to C. C goes right into that trigger zone. And again, don't forget, you're going to take one target off at the B, one target off at the D. And you can see here, there's our symmetry target right there. First signal we got today, nice big winning trade on crude. And you'll now see, of course, and this is all the same stuff we've been talking about for this stuff for the other markets. And so you can see here now another great example of this. Here's another symmetry setup. Swing low, up to high, comes back into our trigger zone. And again, this now goes higher. course, this resistance zone was broken. Swing low to swing high. Again, that's your A to B, B to C, and therefore now your target here is up top here. 94.70. 94.70 going to be your short-term target here now on crude oil. So nice, big, easy winning trade on crude coming out the gate this morning. Again, first trade here this morning on crude oil. Symmetry setup, pulls back into that trigger zone. Target is filled about 11 a.m. We then make a new higher high, and the exact same thing happens here now. A to B, B pulls back in. We get your entry signal long, and again, we're anticipating the final target to be 94.70 on crude oil. Last but not least here, can't forget about our good friend the euro. The euro right now sitting sideways here at these highs. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this sideways range here now that's developed. This tells us that we want to wait, sit on hands right now for a new higher high or a new lower low. You've only got about an hour left here on euro before it's going to start getting too late here in the trading session this afternoon. You'll notice here, though, as we came out the gate on the euro, we really only got one opportunity here to get long on the euro. You'll notice a short-term swing low, swing high, swing low, and you'll see here now this is going to be your high down to low. This gets you right into that trigger zone, and that's pretty much all you were able to get today out of that euro. As always, same stuff, different chart. This is for the euro, and again, there's your symmetry target right there. Right, so there's your symmetry target right there. Very, very easy stuff. Not a difficult day here in this trade room this morning. Most importantly, though, we know we already got our symmetry target tested and filled on the euro. Now we see here as we look for the rest of the day here today, so you guys know what we're looking at for the rest of the afternoon. We can see here now we are trading sideways. So my goal now is going to be I got to get a new higher high or a new lower low. A new higher high, I will then look for the entry trigger to get long. A new lower low, same thing. I'll look for the entry trigger to get short. Very, very easy stuff. Very easy stuff. That'll do it for us here. Euro trading sideways now. Want to thank you guys for watching here today. As always, I encourage you guys to come out, see us in Las Vegas on Memorial Day weekend. That's May 23rd and 24th. Don't forget to join our free trial to see a recap of all the trades we took today. And of course, advanced members, you guys have your recap in the advanced course. You'll log into your advanced membership. Beginners, intermediates, advanced members, thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Live Trader Room opens up every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll catch you then. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.